Here we are, the final of 3 reviews dedicated to Final Fantasy IV: The Complete Collection. Today we take a brief look at Final Fantasy IV: The After Years, which was originally released on mobile devices over in Japan in 2008, before making its way to WiiWare worldwide in 2009, and then as part of this collection in 2011. Believe it or not, but the After Years was even remade in full 3D a la Final Fantasy IV on the DS, and that version was released on a wide assortment of platforms from mobile devices to Steam. Today though, we're going to be taking a look at the version included in the Complete Collection. The After Years picks up roughly 17 years after the events of Final Fantasy IV. Thanks to the Complete Collection, if you play through the Interlude chapter, you'll have a much better understanding of what Cecil and company were up to in between the After Years and the end of Final Fantasy IV. The game begins with Cecil and Rose's son Theodore trying to become a Red Wing, while he struggles with being born as royalty. Life is hard when you've been born with clear expectations. While he finishes his task, he and his compatriots notice the town of Baron is on fire and race to investigate. Thus begins a multi-chapter experience that returns just about every character you remember from the legendary RPG you likely played many years ago, or at least that was my case. It's a unique way to tell the tale through different chapters, and the end results speak for themselves. Like I mentioned in last week's review of the Interlude chapter, don't expect a story that rivals Final Fantasy IV. The After Years features an all-encompassing storyline that is surely entertaining, but it isn't as dramatic or as personal a tale as the one you already experienced in the past with Final Fantasy IV. Yet again, this is not a bad game, this is not a bad story, it's just not as good as the classic Final Fantasy IV. The gameplay is mostly the same as you remember from both Final Fantasy IV and Interlude, with 2 major exceptions. The first is a new gameplay system I call the Moon Phase system, which essentially changes the rules of engagement based on which of the 4 phases the moon is in. During a full moon, for example, weapon attack power is halved, while black magic power increases. Each phase has something unique that occurs, and monster encounters even change based on the phase of the moon. The second unique element is that of a new combat system called the Band System. Here, as characters develop relationships with one another, they gain access to a unique pairing command attack. For example, Cecil can trigger Holy Blade when Rosa is in the party. Both characters need to input a specific command for the band ability to occur. Most of the abilities will occur naturally as the game progresses. This unique ability helps to spice up the gameplay, which is extremely important as this will likely be the 3rd time you're experiencing the exact same core functions if you've played through Final Fantasy IV and Interlude. The After Years feels much more like a sequel than Interlude did, and for good reason. The game is significantly longer, doesn't feel as linear, and features new gameplay mechanics. The audio-visual presentation is in line with the other 2 games in this collection, and combined they all feel as though one naturally flows into the next, which is the highest compliment I could give this collection. The After Years is a worthy entry in this collection, and will bring a smile to the face of those who absolutely loved Final Fantasy IV. Overall, ending up our 3-part look at Final Fantasy IV: The Complete Collection, I can simply say this is a fantastic set of games that shouldn't be missed by longtime or newcomers to RPGs. It's a fantastic game and actually one of the best available on the PlayStation Portable. I can't say enough good things about this collection, except that I wish it was made available elsewhere so more people could experience it.